Welcome back to Comics with Drew. I'm Drew, and today is a review of One Dark Night by Jock. Wow, this is probably my favorite Batman comic in a very long time. My favorite superhero character and comic book character is Batman, and my favorite artist that draws Batman happens to be Jock, and this is written and drawn by Jock. And it's the best Batman comic I've read in a very long time. It may even be the best Batman comic in years. I absolutely love this book. This is my favorite comic book I've read in at least the last year or so. What's so great about it is that it's just a pure Batman story. Now, before I get too far into it, there are a lot of phenomenal Batman artists. There's Jim Lee, who does just a fantastic Batman. There's Greg Capullo, who crushed it. There's also, obviously David Finch, who does a super professional, that's the typical corporate image that you would want of Batman. That's the way Finch draws it. And, and who can forget, obviously, Frank Miller, who kind of redefined Batman in general. And these are all fantastic artists. But for me, the best artist for Batman, and the one that really captures the spirit and the soul of the character, is Jock. And, I've got this image up here on the screen. I think this is actually an image from book 2 of One Dark Night. You can tell Batman's obviously gone through the ringer here, and his hair's popping out and whatnot. But the way that Jock captures it is that Batman as a character is rage, okay? I mean, he's rage, and he's barely controlled, and he's seething, and he's just got so much darkness in him because all he wants to do is dress up in a costume and beat the living crap out of criminals. All right, that's really the thing. The Bruce Wayne aspect of the character is the mask. Batman's the real character, so he puts on the Bruce Wayne persona and costume when he has to, be forced to engage in regular society. But we all know the real person is actually Batman. So the thing about the way Jock does it is that with the blacks and the way they wash and the blues, he draws Batman living his best Batman life, right? Jock likes to do a lot of close-ups where Batman's grinning, and it's kind of like this. He's got this pleasure in just how much darkness and pain he can inflict, because that's really who he is. And nobody else quite gets that emotion. When I look at a Jock drawing of Batman, I feel the emotion of Batman. I feel that at any second he's going to lose it. But in reality, he really does actually have things under control, even though just barely. And that's what makes the character so dynamic. So when I heard that One Dark Night was coming out and that it was written and drawn by Jock, I was like, oh my God, I got to get this book. But, I didn't find out about this book until February, about a month or so ago. But this came out in December. I was very upset. I went to my local comic shop and I had a talking to with the person that was working there. I was like, why didn't you tell me that there was a new book by Jock for Batman? So anyway, I couldn't believe it. Instantaneously called up every shop that I knew about in the Orlando area, and none of them had it. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And there are a lot of shops in Orlando. So there are a lot of chain shops. There's a lot of independent shops. And I called them all. And I was going to drive wherever I needed to. Unfortunately, I had to go to eBay, and I sourced a copy from a comic shop actually in Melbourne, which is not too far away. But I got it the next day, and I devoured the book. It is an amazing book. It is an amazing Batman book. There is no BS in this. It's just a straight high concept, by the way. And this is something that's kind of like a lost art lately. High concept stories are like Speed, right? It's like Die Hard on a bus. You can spit it out in one line. There's nothing really in depth. There's no angst. There's no emo. There's nothing. It's Batman plus scenario, and, character plus scenario. And you can really just, riff off of that. And that's really what One Dark Night is. So if you've not read it, basically the plot is there is a prisoner transfer, much like what happens in The Dark Knight when they're trying to transfer Harvey, who is allegedly Batman. And so there's a villain here. His name is EMP. He obviously is an energy-based supervillain or metahuman. And so the idea here is that he is being transferred from Arkham to another holding facility in Blackgate across town. And really, it's all about, trying to make that transfer happen. And obviously, things go wrong. And, considering it's EMP and it's called One Dark Night, I think you can probably derive what happens here. So basically, it's a situation where it's Batman trying to get this guy to where he needs to go over the course of a long evening. And I love stories like this. They're concise, they're point A to point B, and how do we get it done? They're kind of like go, go, go stories, or the classic one damn thing after another plot line. It's just over and over, obstacle after obstacle, but Batman, who is an unstoppable force, is going to get it done. Now, there aren't too many books like that. If you read any kind of like ongoing series, a lot of writers want to explore Batman's psyche or explore some weird aspect of history or do some kind of like grand story. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Lots of writers make great stories and have done fantastic things with Batman and the mythos. But sometimes you just want Batman to be Batman, right? You just want to see Batman kicking ass, taking names, and just doing the Batman stuff. You don't need him doing detective stuff. You don't need him, dealing with the Bat family or Batman Incorporated. You just want Batman doing Batman. And this is what this book is. From the word go, Batman's out there just being a badass. And the art is just phenomenal. I cannot recommend this comic enough. You should go buy this comic right now. If you do not have this book, you need to buy it right now. You need to go to eBay, buy it, go to Amazon, buy it, go to Comixology. If you can figure out how it works these days, buy it. I don't care. If you love Batman, this is the right book. So, that's my review of it. Again, it's like basic story, try and transfer a criminal or a prisoner, and Batman has to oversee this, or he's trying to keep an eye on it, and things go south. And it turns out that Batman's going to have to do it himself. He's like Thanos. He's got to pull on the glove and say, fine, I'll do it myself. But I can't really recommend this enough. So you should follow Jock if you don't on Twitter or Instagram. If you love Jock's art, which I absolutely am completely, enchanted by his art, and, just to get further into this, I was talking earlier about how, the way that he draws Batman is so evocative of the character. I'm going to give you a little bit of an art analysis, or a breakdown of this. And when I talk about how Jock really captures the essence of Batman, I'm talking about things like this panel right here, right? Batman is like, the whole point of Batman is that he's kind of like a mythological character. There's lots of mystery about him. There's lots of scary, fear-inducing things. And, this drawing isn't, any kind of accurate drawing. But what it does is it gives you the idea of what, your memory might look like. Okay, if you saw a dude jumping out of a flying bat symbol and with this blue cape and blackness and just the bats, this is how you might remember it, right? When it's blazing hot in the city and things are going crazy and you're just running on adrenaline, this is the image that would stick in your mind. And that's how Jock renders Batman. It's kind of blurred here. There's lots of speed going on and it's just a flash. And that's why I love the way Jock does it. Are there really bats flying around? Probably not. But this is the way it comes across. Jock really captures what I like to say is kind of like an impressionist take of Batman, and how and if you're not familiar with Impressionism, the whole point of Impressionism was to draw things, to paint things by just your memory, just to look at something, close your eyes, and then paint it the way you remembered it, and to try to capture that memory. It wasn't about realism. It was about trying to capture the soul and trying to capture the moment. And that's what Jock does with Batman. He captures the moment with Batman. So this is the first full-on, actual, here's Batman. I'm Batman. Here, mess up your day image in this book. But it just really shows you this is what you're dealing with right now. This is going to be the kind of art that this is the announcement. This is like, Batman is here. Oh crap. This is just one of the things that I love about this book. Another thing that I love about Jock's work here is this image where you have these criminals, they're racking the slides, and you don't need any background. You've got red because things are about to go down, and he doesn't even use any onomatopoeias. Just these little explosion kind of like drawings here. You don't need to read the click click. You hear the click click by looking at this. This is taking it to a whole other level of visual communication. No one quite does this. This is just one of the things that makes Jock so brilliant and so fun to read. The next image I want to talk about is this image here. There's no dialogue here. This page right here is enough to buy the book. This is worth the price of admission. I adore this image, right? We got the yellow underneath the cape. That's a classic Batman thing. A lot of the artists that I've talked about and a lot of current artists, they like to try to suck the color out of Batman. He's just black and gray. But Jock really captures, kind of like that 80s feel with a little bit of that 70s with that yellow. He's being lit from underneath by the bat symbol, and you're seeing that yellow come up under his cape. And I can't tell you, I would buy a poster of this picture. This is an amazing picture, right? He's chasing EMP here, and he's not swinging. He's just using pure athleticism to go chase this. And this just says Batman, there's no dialogue needed. There's no onomatopoeias needed. It's just an image that says Batman right in your face. It is just an amazing piece of art. So, One Dark Night, get the book, right? I don't know how much is this. This is like $7 or something like that. Yeah, it's $7. He'll be like a ticking time bomb in Gotham. That is no joke. This is the best Black Label book I've seen. It's probably the best single Batman issue that I've read personally. And people, there are other Batman issues that are fantastic issues. And I'm not going to say that, this is objectively the best. This is my favorite, right? I kind of really got an introduction to Jock officially with The Batman Who Laughs, which by Scott Snyder, which is just a phenomenal book. It's one of my favorite Batman stories. And it just really shows it just really shows Batman and the Joker in a way that has never been done before. And is just so, it's just an amazing book. If you never read The Batman Who Laughs, read The Batman Who Laughs. I would love to see an absolute edition of that. That would be amazing. But anyway, One Dark Night, Jock's return to Batman, full on, and it's written by Jock. So, he doesn't care about anything but getting the action done and setting up the story properly. I cannot recommend it enough. 5 out of 5 stars, 10 out of 10, whatever you want to call it. 8 batarangs out of 8 batarangs. I don't care. This is it. This is the book. I love it. Go ahead, buy it, read it. If you've read it, tell me what you think about in the comments. And, tell me if you don't think I'm correct about the way Jock draws Batman. But I'll tell you what, for my money, I would rather have Jock draw Batman for any kind of Batman book. So it just his art alone is enough to tell a story. It's amazing. So anyway, again, this is Comics with Drew. I'm Drew. Thanks for watching. And I'll be doing some more Batman related videos this week because, I love Batman and there's a new Batman movie coming out and I'm super excited about it. Actually, I'll be seeing the movie Friday, and so I'll be uploading my comments after that as well. I don't normally do movie review stuff, but, I might start doing it, especially when it's involving things like Batman. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.